Welcome to another episode of Speak on It. It's our Friday edition. We labeled this show, man. I'm excited about it. It's called Freestyle Friday. So we're just gonna talk about a bunch of topics that's going on in cultural, sports and hip hop. Um, I'm your host Dom. Got my man Div with me, and Tamon with me. Y'all know my other host. But I got a special guest right now today with my man Derin. It's my man birthday weekend, so I'm gonna let him come on and talk to you a little bit. And say what's up to the people.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Derin. I'm gonna turn 27 on the 24th. So, woo woo.
Hey, listen. I'm excited about his birthday, man. But go ahead, Tim. You want to say something to the people?
Hey man, when that man talk about his bars, man, what he got going on as far as
Right,
his bars
yeah.
is
You know
concerned.
definitely right what you got going on.
um, I guess a little background on me. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm also a rapper. Um, I just do various open mics based on quarantine. Now I got to do it over the over the phone and everything. But usually I attend some open mics, putting some music out slowly but surely. Yeah, man, I'm not to my own horn, but I'm a pretty good rapper, man. A lot of people say they rap. A lot of people say they rap. Everybody's a rapper nowadays, but not everybody's nice. Not everybody's skilled. So I'm tried and tested, man. I'm pretty darn good at it. So I keep spitting, man, until I one day release an album. Before I die, I want to release an album. I don't know what it's
Good,
gonna
good,
be
good.
about, what it's gonna be centered towards, but I'm gonna release an album. I know I'm good enough to do it. Right now, I'm kind of just studying how people form hooks and like people form the music, and there's a lot of stuff to rapping that people don't. I'm making a track and making a song that people don't realize. Um, and I'm just now as I'm listening to different styles of music, I'm understanding how people put things together. So put that in my raps, and we good, man.
Hey, listen. Before the show over, man, we're gonna have to have you spit something, man.
All right, cool. I got you.
Hey, babe, you got something for the people?
Nah, man, not much, man. I'm just excited, man. Just happy Friday. Let's get this thing rolling, bro.
Yes, sir. Tim one, you got it.
So you said that you made a pretty bold statement there, good brother. You said that you know that you can rap, right? So one of the things that I mean that had that confidence, you got to think of some of the people that you looked up to. So when you think about rappers, what is your preference or what is your top five? I would say.
Hmm. Oh man, we're gonna need more than an hour. But I condense it. Well, first, let me just address that. Um, well, I guess I'll just address it. So, oh yeah, this is what I was gonna say. Even though I'm just technically still 26, I'm about to be 27. I actually prefer 90s rap. That's pretty much my wheelhouse. That's not to knock or diss current rappers now. I think there are a lot of great artists out now, but to me personally, I like the feel and sound of 90s rap. I like how things work. Um, so you said my top five. So if I don't think there is I can give you my top five favorite, but I don't think there's a top five best rapper
Yeah,
because
no, just your top five favorite.
okay, my favorite rapper is
Hold on.
Rakim
Hold on. My man said you don't think it's a top five rappers. We definitely gotta
because
talk
it's
about that.
subjective. We can talk about it, but it's subjective. But my favorite rapper is Rakim. That's like that's number zero. You know, like there's one and then there's like two way down there, but Rakim is definitely my favorite. Um, and I don't necessarily have a word. I like Nas. I like Cool G rap. Um, After that, man, it gets hard. I think everybody for four is equally. I just like a lot of different people. I'm listening to Rock Marciano right now. I'm listening to Black Thought. Listening to Elzhi. Um, a lot of stuff, man. Big L, Big Pun. I mean, the list goes on, but probably those top three. Those are my top three. I can give you the top three. So Rakim, Nas, and G Rap.
So for my man to mine,
No, go
before we
ahead,
get in,
that man. You sound like you about 45, good brother. With that
Yeah.
top five for real. That
so
sounds like my uncle's top five, the top three, man.
so
Yeah,
like you
Nah,
said,
man.
respect though.
anything, anything rap, sports, anything can be subjective, right? You ask the old heads who the greatest of all time. A lot of them won't say Jordan. You know what I mean, some of them will say Oscar, some of them say Dr. J, something like that. But I think when you start looking at the eye, you know what I mean, and what you see, and you start putting everything together, like stats and wins and who play on both sides of the ball and stuff like that, then that's when we can start to see who differentiates themselves. And I think it's the same way with hip hop. Like we can talk about who's the greatest lyricist, and I think a lot of the people that you mentioned in your top 5 favorite, you like them because you like lyrics, you like lyricism. You know what I mean? But when you start putting like a complete artist together, then you can start differentiating who's the best. You can start differentiating, saying who is the greatest rapper of all time.
I mean, because if you start putting certain categories into it, so if you start talking about longevity, influence, once you put the word influence in there, then the conversation changes. Because a lot of cats, even some of the cats I named, have heavy influence. Then you got to look at, you could say number one songs and number one hits. That's why it's all nuanced, and it's all about semantics. For me at least, because if we're talking about rap, like lyricists, that's hard to me. I don't think there's a number one lyricist, but like complete rapper, I would say, I don't know, Jay's up there, Jay-Z's in there. Debatably Nas is in there. You could say Drake, debatably Drake. Like if we're talking about complete rapper, okay, like sales included, popular songs included, but there's difference between that and like the art of rapping. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between art of rapping and putting a song together. And a lot of semantics and a lot of specificity goes into it. There are a lot of rappers who can put a good verse together, and they can put a good 16 together, but they don't know how to make a good song. A lot of rappers I listen to can make great, like, killer 16s, man, killing stuff, but they can't make bangers, and vice versa. I mean, so, but it's hard for me. I mean, y'all can define it, but it's hard for me to like put a number one rapper.
And I definitely understand that, but when you start to say all that stuff, right? Like for me, when you talk about complete rapper or complete artist, because I understand there is a artistry to rap. But again, like I said, when you start to, because just sports, right? I don't think that there are any whack basketball players in the NBA. You know what I mean? They way better than me. You know what I mean? They just, when we start to compare them to the people that they're going up against, that's when we start to say, oh, that dude, he's trash. You feel me? But no, actuality, he's not really trash. He's just not on the level of what we're accustomed to seeing. So when we talk about, like you said, with the greatest rapper or the top 5 list, it can be biased, right? But if you just take an unbiased approach to it and say, well, I'm going to pick Nas storytelling, you know what I mean? Or Jay, the way Jay rides the beat, you feel me? His flow, you know what I mean? Or the way 50 puts a banger out there, you know what I mean? Like, if we start to look at all that and we say, looking at the whole package of what an artist is or what a rapper is, then that's when I'll be like, okay, then I can make a top 5 because now I have guidelines to go off of.
So who's your top 5 then?
Oh man, shoot. Well, so for me, Jay gonna be number 1. And the reason that Jay's gonna be number 1, I don't think that you can poke a hole at anything in his game. Yeah, I mean, everything that you said, longevity, influence, lyricist. If you're talking about putting a song together, album sales, he's gonna check off every single last one of those boxes. Drake is not going to be in there because I don't think Drake checks off every single last one of those boxes. I do like Rakim. I do got Big in there. I got I got DMX, old DMX in there. I'm in the top 5. And probably, did I say Nas?
You mentioned Nas, yeah. No, wait, did you? I don't think you did.
Jay, Nas, Big, Rakim, and I don't know.
You said DMX.
And X.
DMX.
Yeah. And that's just freestyling it off the top of my head. You feel me? That's not even writing it down because I know we did this show before. Somebody gonna go back and be like, "Hey, Dom, your list changed." You know what I mean? So that's just freestyling off the top of my head because this show
Right.
Freestyle Friday. But that's just off the top of my head right now. I'm pretty sure if I think a little bit harder, my list will probably change maybe.
Yeah, no doubt. No
Now,
doubt.
I'm sorry, Viv, you got anything? One of the things I was, I mean, from your list, it seems like you're one who is more so a favorite of lyricism versus a complete package. I would say. Would that be correct?
Me or Dom?
You, Darren.
Yeah. For the most part, yeah. I'm more about lyrics. But as I said before, I'm starting to delve into what makes a song. Because even I'm in the studio and I'm used to doing open mics and performances. I got one shot at it. So like I'm about to give you these bars. Like I'm all about it. But now that I'm starting to be in the studio more, I'm starting to understand what it takes to make a song. So I'm leaning towards now of a song maker. But in general, yes, I'm more about lyricism.
What is it about the lyricism that drew you in to have it to where it's the main stickler as far as how you carry yourself and your style and the genre of music that you like?
Ooh, that's a good question. I never, this is one of those wide questions I never asked myself, never dissected. Um, this answer may be all over the place. I don't know, man. Like to me, if you're able to make a song, a hit record, and it's a bang and everybody loves it, to me it's just popular, right? But it's not. There's not thought put into lyrics. You're not really saying anything of substance. Um, it's popular, cool. Like Hurricane Chris, he made Halle Berry. He made like Halle Berry, right? And that drum was
Hey,
popular and
don't
everything.
forget A
Everybody
Baby.
like,
Don't forget
hey
A
baby,
Baby.
right?
Shout out to
People
Hurricane
love
Chris.
that joint. Hurricane Chris. I mean, people loved it. But I'm like, you knew what was so that was marketed very well, and you were in tune with what people liked. So you were able to do that. You were able to appeal to people, and that's a skill in and of itself. But you were able to appeal to people, and you were able to make a song. But how, like, bro, it probably took you 5 minutes to write them lyrics. And to me, that's like, it takes it takes more than just talent. It takes a lot of skill, it takes thought, and it takes effort to make a good verse and put good bars into it. And to me, that's more impressive than just making a hit song. I think that's what, to answer your question more thoroughly, what drew me to that is like I can tell when people put effort into lyrics. And if we're gonna make a basketball analogy, I can, it's like that person who has natural talent, but that person who works hard at what they do and they got better over time. That to me is that's more powerful and that's more noteworthy for someone to take time to write meaningful lyrics. Even if they're not even that deep, but just like dope rhymes. I can see they put time and effort into it. So I think that's what drew me to lyricism more. And then, I mean, I can go in a story about how I got into my rappers, but that's what, to answer the question. Yeah, man, that's what it is really.
Got you. I mean, what you liking? I mean, you said that you like '90s rap,
Mhm.
and I mean the culture that was really like the growing phase. And we're talking, I mean, early '90s into the mid '90s and the late '90s. Um, I know one of the things that you were saying as far as lyricism is something that's impressive, but even in the 2000s, you have Jay-Z to where, in my opinion, as far as lyricism, he didn't write, right? That's what he says,
Mhm.
and along with Lil Wayne, he's another one that says that he doesn't write. Um, but a lot of the things that they say, granted, it's laughable, but it's clever. And to me, I think that, I mean, I'm one that is a big proponent or a big fan of lyrics as well. And I love metaphors and putting punchlines together and everything like that, different schemes and whatnot. Um, but I think that one thing about, I guess you would call it like the new guys in rap, um, I think that they get in a sense, slighted for the wordplay and the bars that they had. For instance, I was listening to shout out to Biff who put me on a Little Baby. Is it Little Baby? Little Baby, right? And I'm listening to him. I've been listening. I mean, anytime when I don't have my phone, the radio will come on, and I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm like, granted, I can't really understand what he's saying because of the draw. You know what I mean? The Southern draw and whatnot. And they might call it mumble rap because of that, but nah, it's really like he talks like that in his interviews and whatnot. But like what he was saying has substance. He had a couple punchlines in there, and granted, it wasn't like a Black Thought verse, but at the same time, it came to where it got its point across. So I say that to say, how do you say what's different and what's not as far as what impacts, as far as bars is concerned? What impacts you, I should say?
Okay. If I'm being transparent, I haven't heard too much. I don't really listen to much rap now. I hear stuff on the radio sometimes. I hear some things, but I center myself, as I said, around 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and late 80s, some little early 2000s. So like, you said, like, what impacts me the most? Like, I'm sorry.
Like, as far as what would impress you? Like, for instance, like I said, yeah, like, because I mean, like you said, you don't really listen to the guys now, and I'm pretty sure that one of the reasons why is because they say that it's watered down and the lyrics aren't really watered down. So of course you want to stick to what has been, which I'm with it as well. I'm just saying, what impresses you, or what would catch your attention to the point to where like you would maybe start listening to somebody that's newer?
Okay. That's not to say that I don't listen to anybody that's new, or I won't give them a try. I'm more open to trying people. I think what impresses me, probably a number of things. I like good rhyme schemes, and when it makes sense. There is an art to rhyming. People can try to downplay it, and to rhyme, anybody can rap. Not everybody can rap well, and it is a lot harder than people think to rap well. So people who can put together good rhyme schemes, that really impresses me. If they are elongated, that impresses me. I'm delving into entendres. I'm not a big entendre rapper, but somebody who can do that cleverly and not overdo it, because some people do every 2 bars. I'm like, okay, it's kind of, to me, that becomes corny. But somebody able to do that, in the verse and do it seamlessly, that's good. What impresses me, I guess vocab, like a certain vocab. I'm not saying you gotta give me 20-letter words all the time, but just how it works in the form of the music. If you're able to rhyme words that, not necessarily big words, but words that people don't use usually, that really impresses me. Like, yo, he just rhymed that, whoa, and then it fits together. And then, like, kind of a subtopic, flow. Flow is a huge thing, man. I think flow is a huge difference. If you're able to do a good rhyme scheme, put a couple of entendres in there, condense your lyrics, have good vocab, but you have a good flow, oh, you're a problem now. Now you're deadly. So I guess those things really impress me, man. Word.
So the piggyback off of that, as far as what is your thoughts on the URL and the battle rap scene?
Okay. Wow, the battle rap scenes, I watch that sometimes too, and I gotta say that some of my influence comes from battle rap, but I don't like watching it too much because I don't want to be a battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? I think those are two different arenas. Battle rap and making a record, those are two completely different arenas. If you're able to, like, that's just a different type of skill set if you're able to battle rap. That's different. That's just a whole different, like, realm. I think somebody could get good at it, but I personally don't want to do that. I think that it's not a revolving door between rappers and battle rappers. So to elaborate, I mean, it's hard for a battle rapper to go in the studio and make a good joint. It is hard for a studio rapper to step in the battle rap scene. It's rare that you'll find somebody good at both. So with battle rappers, you know, I ain't gonna lie, that influences me a lot, to some degree. But you know, that's I think some of my more complex things come from battle rap. And I guess I don't wanna like listen to it too much, because if you notice in battle rap, very few rappers are cadenced. So like they don't really have a flow in their battle rap. They just go on and on and on, and they do it for shock value and they do it for bars and everything. But there's no like time signature, so they don't have a beat to do it. They can just go. They can just rhyme. And then when you're writing bars, you have to do it in a time signature. You have to do it in a sequence, and that's what makes it fun. That's part of it. But it's kind of like it's unlimited in a way, for lack of a better term. It's unlimited rapping in a battle rap. Not in terms of like the duration of the whole entire round, but in the duration of each bar. It's unlimited when you rhyme it. And so that you can't do that in the booth. You can't do that on a song. So that's why I don't want to take too much from battle rap. But I think it's a good. I think it's something that people should study. Rappers should study from time to time. Every once in a while, I go back to it, and it's interesting. But then I find myself like, all right, this is too much. This is just all right. Enough of it. So I don't want to overwhelm myself with battle rap too much. But I like it. I think it's respectable, and I think people, aspiring rappers, should watch a few battles every once in a while. Just watch some battles and see how they do it, how they form their words and make their complexities.
So, because you said, you like when people put cadences together and rap and everything like that, but then, you said you think it's interesting when people, because I don't think Lil Wayne's a battle rapper, but I think that, we said it consistently on this show. Lil Wayne's probably at his best when he's just able to go and go and go and go. You know what I mean? So, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer mixtape Wayne, or do you prefer studio Wayne?
It's tough, man. I think I don't have a preference over one or the other. It's kind of like apples and oranges, man. It's like I don't think one's better. Because with studio Wayne, you have better production, so the beat enhances it. You know what I mean? The beat enhances the lyrics, and I don't know if y'all in the booth, but like when you're in the booth, you get a good beat and you get the energy. It's different, and you go in there and just people. It's like it's a different feeling. It's a different aura. It's a different energy, and you know good stuff comes out. In a mixtape, it's kind of like that too, but it's kind of like it's somebody else's beat. It's not yours. You know what I'm saying? I, I don't know. I don't really. It's hard to. I guess I like Studio Wayne. I think with mixtape Wayne had crazy things, man. He just had some nut bars. But back then he was hungry. He was hungry because he didn't make it. So as he's progressing time. I'm not saying he still wasn't hungry, but he lightened up on the gas pedal a little bit because I'm here already. You know what I mean? I already made it. Depending on where he was in his career, and I'm not talking about later Wayne, but like like prime Wayne in the studio, man, come on, that's good stuff. But mixtape Wayne, man, he was super hungry. So I think any rapper who's hungry, anybody who's just starting out, you're gonna hear those hungry bars. They're just gonna rap. It's just gonna be bars, But once again, that studio, when you have that good music behind you, that enhances it, and something magical happens. I mean, so I don't know. I don't know. I guess I gotta recant that, man. I don't really have a preference, either studio or mixtape Wayne. They're just different to me. Apples and oranges.
I got you. Did you have something? One more. Cool. You got something to mind?
Yeah, I was wanted to kind of dive into him a little bit now with him being a MC of a hip hop artist and understanding like one of the reasons why hip hop started was to kind of protest of what was going on in the communities and whatnot. And in my opinion, that's part of giving back. One of the ways that you give back is tutoring to the kids, which is big in my opinion. Now tell me what are the reasons as to why you chose that path as far as tutoring kids?
So I I come from a family of educators. Come from a family of educators. My mother's an educator. My father's an educator. My grandmother's an educator. I think my grandfather's an educator. So we just have a whole lineage, and my uncles and aunts are all educators. So that was instilled in me from a young age. Ultimately, I want to be a counselor, and I'm on my path to being a counselor. I'm on my path to being a counselor. But for the past 2 years, I was a special education teacher, and right now I'm tutoring during the summer. Me, it's just about giving back. Like you, kind of just what you said. Like I have a heart to give back. And I'm very blessed to have both of my parents in my life, and they were able to, personally educate me at a young age. I think that the vast majority of youth, especially Black youth, they don't have those father figures, or they don't have those. They don't come from two-parent households, and they can't receive the same type of not just education, but same type of support system that those from two-parent households have. And so they don't have that foundation to help them teach. I didn't come from poverty. I didn't come from the hood, but I also didn't come from affluence either. I was never rich. I was just, I guess you could say, quote unquote, normal. So looking back, and just when I worked with inner city youth in Wilmington, and going to school in Wilmington when I was younger, I saw the different sides of kids. Like not every kid's the same. Not every kid had my background, and like I noticed a lot of kids had less than I had. And so just matriculating through life, just seeing things and realizing some things, I just wanted to get back. And tutoring is like one of the best ways to do it. I don't think I'm an amazing tutor, but I'm good at engaging kids. So I just want to, I have a heart to give back. You know what I mean? But I'm good at engagement. So I mean, that's just something that drives me to it. You know what I mean? And I guess that ties in the rap.
Understood. So I mean, it sounds like you have a heart for the youth.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the youth is concerned, what is your thoughts on the music culture as it is today and how it affects the youth? Or in your opinion, does it affect the youth?
I feel like we're about to enter a WAP conversation. I mean, I think that it hasn't really changed from now from the past and now. It hasn't really been different. I think that access to it has changed. So kids at a younger age are able to access music easier, less restricted, with less restrictions. Like the first thing I thought of was WAP, that video. But and that's a whole nother conversation. But if you think about it, that's been happening. Men have exploited women. They put it in those lyrics. They put it in those bars. It's just that kids have more access to it now. Like younger kids have more access to it now.
Now, hold that thought. I want to hear everybody. What is everybody's opinion on the WAP with Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion?
I got no opinion on it.
Okay. Okay.
That was it, Dom? You got no opinion on that?
I got nothing. Listen, I can only speak to what I got on. I ain't got no opinion on it. Like I'm really not super educated on it, so I ain't got nothing to say about it.
Me personally, I mean, like I agree with my man. My man said it's just the access to it. Kids just have more access to the music today than we had. It's no different than Little Kim hardcore.
Word.
It's no different. You know what I mean? We had a lot of songs. You know what I mean? Put it in your mouth. You know what I mean? We had them all. You know
we did.
we had them all too. You know what I'm saying? Just the kids had much more access to to explicit things these days than we had. So it's just about really like we can be mad at society, but at the end of the day, you as a parent have to control what's going on in your household. So, I mean, we can be mad at whomever, society, however we want, but at the end of the day, you control what's going on in your household.
Mhm.
Myself, I got four daughters, so I got a different perspective now as a grown man than I had as a 15, 16, 18-year-old boy, even as a 20, 21, 22-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? I married and I inherited daughters, and then I had a daughter of my own. So my perspective is definitely different. You know what I'm saying? As far as them engaging into that. But I'm also not naive. I know they're gonna go listen to it. But I
Word.
also have to instill the values into them to, you know what I mean, to have an understanding between reality and entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. My opinion on it, I mean, I start looking at it through the 35-year-old with the two daughters lens at first. I'm like, yo, what in the world is going on? My wife was like, yo, come on, man. Like, let's take it back now. Think about what was going on when we was at parties. I'm like, yeah. You got Akinelli. Like you said, you got Lil Kim. I think what it it's all out there, and I mean, like, of course, it's like you said, looking at it at a different lens now with children. It makes you look at it, but I mean, it's been happening as far as music is concerned. Um, I mean, wife was telling me about this song "Candy Liquor." This is from like the '60s, '70s, bro. Yo, when she started breaking down the lyrics, I was like, wow. Wow, that's that, and you just singing it. You just singing it in the back of the '72 Buick and jamming. But I think one of the things that just about just the artists in general is how much influence they had. I think that's just. I mean, it goes along with what Dwayne said as far as you know what I mean, making sure what goes on. You know what goes on in your household, of course. Um, I just worry about the influence more so, and that's coming from a man with two daughters. So that's my opinion on it.
So, uh, just listening to y'all now, I just give a little opinion on.
This
Just
man
basically what y'all
said,
was saying.
"Now listen to you."
Hey, listen, I ain't know what y'all was talking about. So listen, I'm not going to
The
just come on here
song,
and
this
say that
the
I
Meg
haven't
the
listened to it. That's what
Stallion.
I'm saying. I never
Oh,
heard it.
okay,
So that's why I
got
said
you.
I can't give you a knowledgeable opinion on it. But just listening to y'all, we're talking about influence, the influence that music has on the culture now. I, just what y'all saying, like I remember like singing a song around my dad, like it was a Diddy song, swimming in women with their own condominiums. And he was like, turn that shit off. And me
Mhm.
being a youngin, I'm like, what? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he said. You feel me? I just like the song. You know what I mean? But like you said, now being older and having kids and having an older teenager who lives with me, I do try to be more mindful about what they're listening to, be more mindful of what I put what they're even watching on TV, what they're watching in with their social media accounts. Just trying to be more mindful, like Biv said. That's my job as an adult and as the parent to do that. It's the industry's job to put out what they're putting out. That's their job. Their job is to put out content and things
Yeah.
that get you to draw you in. But it's my job as a parent to say my kid won't be drawn into what the industry is out putting out there. So, but to be to your point, me this when I was young, so this probably like 20 years ago, 20 something years ago, um, and it had influence on me. And I already told y'all about how Jeezy had an influence on me. You know what I mean? So like it's nothing has changed. Nothing has changed with the music. Their job is to put out stuff to draw you in, to catch you in. And again, one of the things why I said I think I mentioned about Future on here. Future's whole thing is to bait you. But if you look at Future, like some of the things they talk about, he doesn't do himself.
Yeah,
Um,
I heard he baited Meg Stallion.
yeah,
I seen that somewhere.
But that is their job. You know what I mean? So again, like Bib said, that's our job is to make sure we monitor what our kids are listening to.
Word.
So
Oh, so that you just gonna go with word? That's it?
I mean, I didn't really add, but I was gonna, I kind of give my viewpoint at first. I, echo what y'all saying. It's really about centering what needs to be censored for your kids, what you want or don't want them to see. It's been happening. And like,
now I gotta go watch that. Now I gotta go watch the Cardi B thing, Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion song, or listen to it, or whatever it is.
Hey, we didn't tell you to do it. Just so
man,
we didn't tell you to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like I wasn't part of the conversation.
Okay, listen to the song. Don't watch the video.
Watch it. Got you.
Nah, you gotta get the full experience, bro. You gotta watch.
I gotta watch it. Oh,
you gotta
man.
watch the video too.
Oh,
you gotta get the full experience.
I guess I got.
I'm just telling you, because I'm gonna be honest with you, because that's what more people was going off about, was the video more so than the content. So
yeah, the video was wild. I ain't gonna lie, it was wild. Now I will say this. Like it was. I'd say it's a little bit more extreme than it was back then. Like back then, '90s and early 2000s, it was crazy. But this was nuts. It was kind of like.
Nah, listen.
But on some real stuff though, like radio is different too. Like what's the song? I think it's the Wet song. That's on the radio.
Yeah.
Listen.
Like when you gotta bleep out like 8 of the 16, it don't need to be on the radio.
Yeah.
I know
like,
we're talking music.
Real. Let's be real. If you gotta bleep out 8 of the 16, it shouldn't be on the radio.
I agree. But listen, I like you said, I know we're talking music, right? But even we're talking about just the industry as a whole, which is I'm talking about like the industry that's supposed to draw you in. I remember back in the day, watching TV shows, they would never say the B word. You know what I mean? Or they'd never say certain words. Now they just open willy-nilly, just throwing out there. And I got like, so it's not just the music industry. We got to watch out for everything. You know what I mean? Because
it's entertainment, period, bro.
Yep, entertainment. They catch you anyway.
Catch you slipping for real. So listen,
yes, sir.
Man.
Your kids turn around saying "be this" and "be that." You like what? And then you turn around, they watching on Disney. Like,
nah, I don't think.
No, they ain't watching on Disney now.
I hope not.
But shoot, it could be.
So Dan,
what's up?
You said you're a '90s guy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite from the Wu?
I fluctuate between Ghost and Ray. I think Raekwon is more consistently dope, but every once in a while, Ghost hits you with something that's just move. So, I think if I had to pick Ghost, because I like his energy with it. Yeah, I like
Same
Ghost.
here. Same here, man. I'm a Ghost guy. I always felt like Ghost was a mix of Meth and Ray, where Meth was the most charismatic. Ghost had a little bit of charisma with him, and to me, I don't think anybody in there was a better bar for bar MC than Raekwon.
Raekwon, right.
I don't think there was a better bar for bar MC in there than Raekwon. I know a lot of people will disagree. They'll say Meth. I'm not gonna argue with that, but for me, it was Raekwon. But for me, Ghost was my favorite. I just love Ghost style, his energy, just his entire swag, man. Like Ghost was just different, and he always came with a banger.
Right.
He always had a banger, no matter what. He always came with a banger for you. So Ghost was my guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna agree with you on that, Raekwon. Cause listen, brother. Like, I'm okay. So I think when I was younger, I was more drawn to the radio, right? And growing up in the home that I was in, it was kind of like dumb. Like, what you listening to? So like my first explicit tape was I think like was it Puff Daddy and the Family? That was like the first explicit one. And And then no, that wasn't Puff. It was Life After Death because that was 7th grade. Yeah.
Mm.
So Life After Death, the double disc. And then the older I get, the more I went back. So like it took some time for me. Like I knew about you know what I mean, the ice cream joint and whatnot, but I didn't have appreciation for the purple tape until I got older and was like, God, like yo, this could come out right now, bro. Like,
Word.
but as far as the rule, like one of the things I seen the other day is Math Hoffa and Meth going at it, and was thinking about I mean it was like a 3-minute clip, but this made me think of what you were saying as far as like some of the industry cats you think they may need to study some of the battle rap cats and whatnot, and just seeing how Meth, which I mean of course anybody in the rule, I think I ain't gonna say anybody, but I think that would be one of the group, like i.e. like Slaughterhouse or something like that, to be able to go in that arena and be able to succeed. So on that note, even talking about Slaughterhouse, um, you don't like them at all? They not 90s, but I mean they got bars too.
They definitely a bar. Slaughterhouse is the group with M, right?
No, don't do that. You
No,
got
no,
you got
no.
Joel,
That's
you got
these
Crooked
ones.
Eye, you got Royce
Oh, man.
9, and you got Joe Budden.
Okay. Yeah, I primarily, this is my bad. See, this is how you know I listen to 90s most of the time. Even though I listen to that even though I listen to that primarily at the time, I do respect and know that people from 2000 and up and 2010 now can rap. Like, you know, I respect it. Individually, Royce is debatably as good or better than M. That's debatable.
Ooh,
Joe
wow.
Budden can spit, huh?
That was a big statement right there to say
It's
out loud.
debatable. It's
I
definitely
mean,
debatable.
hey, I would agree, but you said that out loud. So
I mean, hey,
I listen. But go ahead,
all the
continue.
stands gonna get him.
Yeah, they might get him. Hold, if you want to talk about Eminem, but that's
they
another
can
story.
come at me. They can come at me. That's another story. But and Budden can spit, man. Budden can spit. I think his career was short lived, and he's turned himself into a very controversial character. But he can rap. He can definitely rap. And then like I don't know if you or Dom made the comparison like to basketball. Like anybody, basically everybody in the NBA is a beast. And then it's just like when you make that comparison, I think Dom made that. Like if you compare him to LeBron, like LeBron's gonna demolish the lowest tier NBA player, but he's still very nice. And similarly with rappers, so with Joe Budden, he's not the cream of the crop, and he's not the best of the best. He even said it himself, I know I'm not the best. He said that. But he can rap. Like people, I don't think people, a lot of rap critics, when people, you know, people just listening, who are just listeners and they don't actually try to rap. It's different when you're trying to rap, man. You're a different type of critic when you're in the game yourself. So I got respect for that. So yeah, they can definitely spit. I bangs with them. I bangs with them, man. I have respect for them. I don't I don't even think that 90s hip hop groups are necessarily better. I just prefer them more. They're like their style.
Got you. I just didn't want you to miss out on. I mean, I know you're in the '90s, but there's some what you like over here in the 2000s, and because listen, I'll just say me personally speaking for myself, I was one that I was like, man, I'm not listening to the radio at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, of course, when you start to have I mean, you're not you don't have the kids yet, so but when they come, you start to see what they're listening to and having a conversation of a debating of a song that you heard back in your day, and then they say, oh, it sounds better now. No, it don't, and then it becomes a repeated pattern of me thinking back to me saying that same conversation with my mom, but just seeing how music has evolved. Do you think that music has evolved in a good way? And when I say music, I would mean hip hop culture. Hip hop mainly. Has it evolved in a good way or in a bad way?
I'm not trying to find a middle ground here. I'm really not trying to, but and I'm not trying to divert your question, but I'm really trying to give you a straightforward, but I can't do that. Um, I think it will depend on what people view as good and bad. In regards to like advancing the culture, I mean, this is just the direction that it's taking. Um, this music is it's people rap about what they see, and it's a form of expression based on what they experience and what they see. And right now, if what people are seeing, this is what's happening, that's what they're gonna rap about. Whether it be socially conscious or whether it be um, about material items or about acquiring certain things or whether it be sex or drugs or money, or if it's something, about a personal experience, about a story, whatever story people have to tell, whatever thing people have to say, that's just the direction it's in. And that's just what it is. I just think it's different. I think that as with every era of music, people have to adapt to it. Um, I don't think it's necessarily good or bad because there are people who, old heads. I was listening to another podcast of some comedians, and then when they were younger, their parents say, "Oh, this hippity hop stuff won't last for long." We deep in it now. Now it's the number one trending like genre of music. You know what I mean? We deep in it. We deep in the trenches. This hippity hop thing is outlasting and killing all y'all genres. But even then, like they're looking at the '90s, like it's not gonna last long. No, Rakim said it. No, I listened to Rakim, and his people were like, "Yo, this show ain't gonna last long." His parents were like, "Yo, this ain't gonna work out," and look where it is now. So, and they were saying this night it's not gonna transcend into the '90s. '90s is debated, is the golden age. A lot of people call it the golden age. So every generation has that. So I don't want to be that old head. Back in my day, in the '90s, it was not, man. I mean, it is what it is. It's just taking the direction it's taking. I mean,
I want to chime in on it, and I think that it has evolved for the good. Now, as far as like lyricism and stuff like that, um, I think that we've taken a step back as far as lyricism, but I think as far as the totality of hip hop and music making has evolved. You know what I mean? When we talk about just the beats and we talk about the wordplays and we talk about how they put a production, that has evolved for the better. I mean, that they've taken what they've gotten out of the '80s and '90s and everything like that, and they've built on that. You know what I mean? And then I just look at like Jay and Diddy and Rick and Dre and 50 and all these people that are black, like they are black people. I mean, I know they're underneath companies, you know what I mean? But we talked about it before, like when I think about Maybach Music, I don't think about who's under. You know what I mean? I think about him being the boss. And when I think about, you know what I mean, Diddy and you know what I mean, what he's done, I think about him being the boss and Jay being the boss and Dre being the boss. So I think even back then, we wouldn't have said that, or we couldn't have said that back then. But now when we see the evolution of music and the evolution of hip hop, we are actually seeing that there are a lot more people getting opportunities to express themselves through this thing that we call hip hop and this thing we call music.
no doubt.
I, I don't want to answer my own question.
But let me go first.
But
Then.
my opinion is that like I mean I agree with both of you guys, especially what I mean as far as like production wise, it's gotten better. As far as like wordplay and whatnot, the lyrics have evolved. Um, the influence I think is still there. It's always been there in my opinion. It's just that it had to grow to where it became mainstream. I mean, from its infancy in the '70s and the early '80s, it was like you said with Rakim. What I don't see this lasting because it was brand new. I mean, I'm pretty sure that anybody that was in jazz or rock and roll, maybe probably told somebody like Stevie Wonder or Little Richard not to do it, and they went ahead. Um, I just think that hip hop as a whole has influenced to the fact to where it from the '90s to the 2000s, in my opinion, it made you want to be an entrepreneur and be your own boss. And like what Don was saying, it um, like one of the things that Nipsey Hussle was saying is how he studied Jay-Z's moves and how he did things as far as what he did with Rockefeller and not necessarily signing a deal, which I mean, if if you look back at Jay, he was trying to get a deal and he couldn't. So he was like, I'm gonna do it my own way, did his own buzz and did it that way. And a lot of cats in the game, I guess you would say, don't necessarily study that part to where they just want to get on and get a buzz. Um,
Yeah.
I think that part is lost to where it's a lot of guys that just want to get on to get a buzz versus actually having ownership in something and building a company, building a brand, and then making it to where you have jobs for your friends and your family, things of that sort. And I mean, looking at this the stories like the Diddy's and the Jay-Z's, the even going back to like the LL Cool J's or the Run DMC's, you know what I mean? This hip hop lane carved a lane to where all of their kids is good. You know what I mean? To cross it over to movies and whatnot and getting that type of money. And even now to where you got the older guys in the podcasting games, where you got Nori doing well with Drink Champs and whatnot, and it wouldn't have been for hip hop to where they would have carved out that lane for entrepreneurs to be able to do that. Um, Especially ones that look like us. So I think that was the positive as far as hip hop that's lost nowadays. I mean, we can go in as far as bars and lyrics is concerned, but I still think that there's artists out there that still got bars, still got something to say, still got substance. It's just that it's not on the radio.
Big,
I
you
I
agree.
think
mean,
something?
even back then, it wasn't really. I mean, the '90s it was in the radio on the radio, and then it switched over to the gangster rap, and then that's where the Tribe Called Quest and the rest of the developments got buried in the sand.
Mm-hmm. Word.
If you gonna say something?
I was gonna say, man, if y'all haven't checked it out, man, there's a documentary on Netflix, The Evolution of Hip Hop. If you haven't checked that out, man, check it out. But what it was showing me, just watching that, was just how everything has its time as far as being the face of hip hop. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the West Coast had their time, the East Coast had its time, the South had its time, and now whatever this is having its time. You know what I mean? I don't know what to put a label on it. You know what I'm saying? But but
Mm-hmm.
whatever this is right now, it's having its time where it's at the forefront. And
Word.
but at the same time, you can find what you're looking for if you want to find it in today's hip hop. Like there's still guys out there that's still making the music that you want to hear. Like people put me on to different people all the time. I dig Benny the Butcher. Dig,
Hey,
I
hey,
dig,
hey.
because he
Oh,
give
he
me
said, "Hey, that means
he give
he."
me that because he give me that '90s feel. He gives
Yeah.
me he gives me that '90s feel. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
But he hot, but he's out right now.
It's
You know what
dope.
I
You can
mean?
see.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like you can still find what you wanna hear if you wanna look for it. Because again, Joe Button said it. Everything dope ain't on the radio. So if you want to find it, you can find it. But I agree with everybody, man. The business side of it is probably the best part of it at this point because it's an avenue for everybody to get money if they're willing to put in the work. You
Word.
know, a lot of guys chase. A lot of guys, like my man Darren said, a lot of guys think they can rap. I know a lot of rappers. I don't know a lot of successful ones.
Right.
Because a lot of guys aren't willing to put in that work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of guys ain't willing to put in that work. But with today's social media and all and YouTube and everything, I'm not saying it's easier, but you have a lot more opportunities and access to opportunities than what people had back in the day.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about or to even touch on is that platform, right? That social media platform, and I think that how that's another one of the ways that or one of the reasons why we see the evolution of hip hop. We see the evolution of that the music in and of itself, because people are putting that stuff out there on YouTube and social media, to where they don't have to have the backing of a big company to get their start. You know what I mean? They don't have to have and me personally, I don't think that they have to have a backing of a big machine or a big brand or a big label to actually keep going. I just think that that is something that we as a people fall in love with. Yeah, we fall in love with having that backing, and not really truly one of the reasons why we actually seeing the evolution of hip hop, and we actually seeing that it's growing.
Right.
So the piggyback off that, I tried to rap once, and I tried to hoop one. Um, Now I seen that J. Cole is going to be trying out for, or possibly trying out for, the Detroit Pistons. And we've seen rappers, well, we've seen NBA players become rappers. What is your opinion on rappers? I mean, NBA players or athletes becoming rappers?
I'm not knocking anybody. If you feel like you can go in, if you can go in the booth, go ahead. Like Dame can spit. I heard some stuff. He pretty dope. I mean, he ain't, to me, he's not mind blowing, but he can spit. I think people who are trying to expand their horizons, more power to you. Y'all know, viewers don't know, but y'all know, I sell banana pudding on the side too. So, I wouldn't want somebody to knock my hustle. You know what I mean? So if you're good at it, and if you know you're talented, why not? Now, if you, I can't even say like I knock somebody who's not good at it.
Like a Chris Webber?
I don't know. But yeah. Even Kobe. I read a story Kobe tried to do when he first started. He tried to be a rapper.
He has a nice.
He what?
Kobe Bryant.
No. What did Dom say? You said what now, Dom?
I said he had a nice verse.
Oh, okay, verse. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some people like. I mean, if you're using your platform to build yourself and build your brand, cool. But I don't know. I'm just not knocking it. I mean, people, your people will tell you. Like your fans will tell you, yo, you suck. Stop rapping. That will make you stop rapping.
The best one.
If you do it for the love of the culture, man, you stop.
The best one whoever did it was Shaq.
Shaq and the Fushnikins.
Probably
connections, man. Because he had Biggie on his joint, man. Like, how do you pull that off, man? Like
Shaq.
That's true.
Yeah, so
Shaq.
Man, Shaq my guy, but I'm then the top two in my head I could think of that played in a professional basketball game, whether it's exhibition or professional.
Don't you say
I know what you're gonna say.
I can say Master P, but he was an artist.
I can't say Master P.
No, he was an artist who tried to play basketball.
He wasn't an NBA player that became a rapper, dude. Come on, like.
No,
I mean,
in my opinion, like Dame is the best that I've heard, to be quite honest, to do both.
Dame ain't got no platinum albums.
No, he don't. I'm just saying, like, just like for what I like he's actually like.
You saying Shaq the most successful, Dom?
Yeah,
Shaq the best to ever do it.
He got a platinum. He got a platinum album, yo. Wow, Shaq has a platinum album. How you get 4 NBA rings
and a platinum album,
bro? With the Fushnikins. Shout out to the Fushnikins.
And Shaq got a video game, man. Listen, Shaq was the man.
Yeah.
He also got Kazam.
Yep, I was thinking about this. Kazam. Shaq was the man.
Yeah,
I was looking at Shaq. I know we getting on Shaq. I was looking at Shaq net worth the other day. That boy worth $500 million. I said, God darn, Shaq.
Oh shoot.
Keep that on hush. You don't want somebody coming at him again.
Right.
Oh, she know already.
Right. So since we went over to this basketball game, this basketball lane, and
This when I check out, y'all.
Nah, we like to talk. But no, that's our lane. We like to travel out of different lanes, but then we come right back in. I know earlier you were saying that you don't really watch too much, but I know with quarantine, I know that you have to have tuned into a few games.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts right now on the we like basketball. What's your thoughts on the NBA playoffs right now?
I have a lot of thoughts. I'll try to condense them. Keep in mind, I'm not somebody who's a big sports guy. I'm not a big basketball person, not a big football person. I just like watching it from time to time on occasion. So just before you crucify me, just if I say something that's worth crucifixion, just
Oh no,
bear with me.
no. We crucify each other. We leave the guest alone.
Okay, all right. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting and very exciting. I'm not a person who my team is the Knicks, man. So
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. He don't know nothing about basketball. We gotta check out now.
You just said
You poor man.
You just went back on what you said, man. Cause wait, we gonna have our time, and then I'm gonna be
Oh
proud
man.
of both.
Oh man.
One day,
Listen.
One
You can
day.
get that record deal. You can get that record deal. And it's coming soon. Before y'all get before y'all get y'all time.
One day. But so I say that to say I'm not like other than that, I'm not really a team guy. I'm more like a player guy. And
You and somebody got a lot in common.
oh yeah. Yeah, like I'm not like a other than Knicks, I ride for the Knicks, but I like as a real side note, I like Derrick Rose because of he made that 50 points, when he made those 50 points, that was like wow. I was like, wow, that's so inspiring because I know what it's like to be injured. I'm an athlete. I was a former athlete who used to run track, and I just know what it's like to have debilitating injuries. And when he came back and scored that 50, I was like, oh, that's amazing. So I like Kawhi. Like I like players themselves. And I like humble, like good people. So I like Kawhi. I love Dame. He's a man on a mission. And I just like that, I like that foil for LeBron. I think that game is going 7 games. I don't care. I don't care what's happening. I don't care if his fingers messed up. It's going 7 games because he's like a man on a mission right now. And if McCollum and his other people are hot and Carmelo are hot, they can mess with the Lakers. But at the same time, if they play poorly and the Lakers are playing like they did yesterday, it's over. But I still think it's going to 7 games. I said that from day one, going to 7 games. I'm starting to think that the Clippers and the Mavericks going to go 7 games because Kawhi is still Kawhi. Like, so it's just a mess, man. Luka's Luka. It's insane, man. I'm not big on stats, man. I can't give y'all too much, but I just like seeing it for what it is. But I think it's just a very interesting series. Like the whole entire playoffs is just very interesting, and it's just entertaining to watch. And a side note, my last thing, I'm gonna try to let y'all speak. I like the bubble, man. I like the fact there's no crowd. I might be in a minority there, but I love that there's no crowd. It makes players focus on that game.
I definitely agree with you on the whole bubble thing. I think it speaks to coaching. It speaks to focus, like you said. It makes you have to get up for a game. Yeah, I mean, you see who is hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you see who wants it. You don't have a thousands of people cheering you on or booing with somebody. It's really just in mano a mano when you start, like on the playground or in the gym. Yeah, I mean, or in the high school arena. Like it makes you want to get back. It brings you back to having to get it from the muscle. You know what I mean? And that's what we're seeing, and that's why I think Damon and them are being successful in this atmosphere because he's always had a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? So that is just exposed now because he doesn't care about crowds. He doesn't care about arenas. He doesn't care about you if he in Portland or if he in LA. Dame gonna be Dame. Dame gonna kill you no matter where he is. You know what I mean? He doesn't care if his crowd is you know what I mean, packed or if nobody's showing up. He's trying to kill you regardless, and that's why I see him. That's why I think we're seeing that he is killing this this form for him because he is who he is.
Right.
Yeah, I like. I mean, of course, I'm a mellow, so I didn't like the performance that they had the other night. But I mean, Lakers did what they were supposed to do. I mean, the Lakers looked like
Right.
the Lakers, and Anthony Davis looked like Anthony Davis.
Got a
So I
lot of
mean,
questionable calls, but okay.
I thought I was supposed to say that, but I mean, they got their butts handed to them last night. I mean, even we was talking in the chat. I mean, even before Dame got hurt, I mean, they was down a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just one game. That's the one thing that's good about the playoffs is that either if it's a close game or blowout, either way, it just counts as one game.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
so it's still 1-1. But I mean, the surprising series to me is what happened earlier today, and the Jazz took a 2-1 lead against the Nuggets. What in the world happened there?
I'm gonna tell you,
Mike Conley showed up.
Mike Conley did show up. He did.
So he had a baby and then dropped off a baby.
But here's the thing again. Like I mentioned to y'all earlier. Look at the box score, right? You look at the box score. Freaking Michael Porter Jr. had 7 points. He shot 6 times. Like Bobo or PJ Dozier, like Jaren Grant, they shot more shots than Michael Porter Jr.
Rudy Gobert scored more than Jokic. And he's a defensive specialist.
He's a defensive specialist.
That's a problem in my opinion.
So again, like I said earlier, I think Mike Malone forgot how to coach. And I think there's something there because they try to feed off of each other. Jamal Murray and Jokic, they try to feed off of each other. They try to look for each other, and I think they isolated some of their teammates.
I also think that Jamal Murray is feeling himself because of Game 1.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that he's not capable of having games like that, but they're going to be few and far between. And he needs to settle himself down and fall back into where he's supposed to be. I don't know if they recover from this. To be honest with you, Mike Malone's gonna have to do a really, really great coaching job in order for them to recover from this, because that's a slap around. You know, you get slapped around like that, and the only difference in the game was really Mike Conley showed up, and you get slapped around like that. Like you got like this is when you test your mettle. Like who am I? You know, what type of ball player am I right now? And they're gonna have to go and find it. They're gonna have to go and find themselves. Otherwise, you know, this might go 5 games. This might go 5 games.
Yeah. Like shout out to Quinn Snyder, man, as well.
Dookie. But anyway, like Biff said, right? But I'm looking at it like Nang, whatever his name is, 6 for 9, 4 for 6 he had 16 points. Like the Jazz legit showed up. You know what I mean? The Jazz legit showed up. Joe Ingles had 2 points. It was just a beatdown. And again, I think that's something that they need to figure out how those 3 stars can coexist. And I think that Paul Millsap is also doing them a disservice in that starting lineup in this series. He cannot play in this series. He can't play. He can't start or he can't play. Like every time they see them on the court, they switching and they're killing them. And if you are not, at least Michael Porter Jr. was giving you buckets. Today he gave you 7 points. He didn't shoot a lot. Paul Millsap been giving you buckets all game. Paul Millsap scored 8 more points than I did. Like,
all right, Barkley. All right, Barkley.
But like he's not doing anything. He's hurting the team.
Yeah, I mean, I was when okay. So when you had said on a couple episodes that like Denver was a scary team, I think both you and Bev said Denver was a
Mhm.
scary team, and looking at them, I was like, yo, they legit like all around roster, and it it makes you think like this matchup isn't a good matchup for them.
I
It
don't think
seems like, um, and in this bubble, as far as the crowd effect and whatnot, that has nothing to do with nothing. Like there's no home court advantage, and in Denver, we all know Denver has like the ultimate home court advantage with the elevation. So, um,
so. Even when we saw the matchup, right, Biff? We saw the matchup. We knew it was going to be Jazz Denver. I still thought Denver was going to take this in 6. I still did. The reason I thought Michael Porter Jr. and I thought Jokic, and we both said it. I thought Jokic was key. Jokic has not been Jokic in this series, and it's not that Rudy Gobert is taking him out of his game, because when they post up, they send a double quick, because why? Because he give Rudy Gobert work. You know what I mean? And when they don't bring help, he give Rudy Gobert work. But it's kind of like what I see with Joel Embiid. He does not. They do not. They don't punish them. They shoot jumpers. Like when he puts moves on Rudy Gobert, he catches Rudy Gobert. But when he shoots jumpers and stuff like that, he lets Rudy Gobert off the hook, and he does a disservice to his whole team.
I wasn't gonna mention that game. I was going. We not
Hey,
gonna
listen,
mention that.
I'm biased. I'm gonna talk
I
about all of it.
I know, but it just happened. And I know it might be something inside. So,
Nah,
like,
bro, I'm
if
I'm
we had
ecstatic.
this last night, I'd have been on here like, yeah,
Mute,
yep,
mute.
mute. Do you see what's going on? Yeah, they up by 30 now, man. But nah,
Well,
but just to kind of touch on like all the series, I think the the Bucks look like they got their head together.
Oh, let Biv
I'm sorry,
say
yeah,
something
yeah,
about
my
the
fault.
Jazz
I'm
game, because I
sorry.
thought he was going
Yes,
to say
yes.
something about that.
I'm sorry.
nah, Tamar, you go ahead. I'll follow you up. I'll follow up on you because I was gonna summarize everything too.
Yeah, the
Okay.
the Bucks look like they got their stuff together. And I mean the way that they played it out as far as Giannis bringing the ball up, crashing and then finding an open shooter. Kavanaugh, Cat,
Connaughton.
yeah, him.
Pat
He
Connaughton.
was he was knocking down wide open trays. I don't understand. Like you've seen it 2 times in a row, and you still let this man be wide open. For the life of me, like, yo, why aren't y'all calling timeout and figuring out something? Like there should be but that's neither here nor there. So if the Bucks keep doing that, they're gonna win in 5. We talked about the Lakers and the Blazers. Um, the Thunder look like they might get swept. The Thunder
Sweat.
look like they might get swept. I didn't think that. I don't think Chris Paul would allow that, but Thunder might get swept.
They're gonna
And
get swept.
and in Miami and Indiana, I still think is going to be a tighter series. I don't think the Pacers are going to get swept. Um, I think it'll still be in 6. Miami has the lead right now. I guess going back to Indiana's crowd. I
No, going back
guess.
to Miami, going back to Miami's
Oh,
crowd.
it's
No,
Miami's crowd. Oh, okay.
it's been in
However that
Indiana's
affects.
crowd.
Okay. So however that affects. Um, I did see Lil Wayne in the crowd last night. That was interesting. They literally did a zoom in. Um, and I'm not going to touch on that one series that looks like it.
You can touch on it. That's over
All right.
Sunday.
I
That's
was gonna
over
say
Sunday.
that's a sweep
So
too.
yeah, look like the Raptors and the Celtics moving on.
Yes, sir.
So that's where I'm gonna end that there. Look like the Raptors and the Celtics moving.
One of the things that what I'm noticing in this bubble, man, it feels like the team with the most dogs is winning in this environment. Um,
Say the most
I
what?
don't even, the most dogs, man.
Oh
It
yeah,
don't matter. It don't matter if you got the best
talent.
roster. It don't matter about the talent. It's about the dogs because teams are getting blown out, and you're looking like, what in the world is going on? Team, like, if somebody would have told me that James Harden would have shot the ball the way he shot the ball yesterday, and the Rockets would win without Russ, I wouldn't have believed it. I would not have believed it. But it's those other guys seem to be locked in. The Rockets are scary, man. They are playing defense. I don't know why. I don't know why they are. Mike D'Antoni don't teach it. They don't practice it. Like, I'm just saying, they don't. But they're playing defense, and if Russ comes back, they're gonna be scary. I don't know if the Lakers if the Lakers get, well, the Lakers are gonna beat the Blazers. It's gonna be what I say 5, but it's 5. It's a wrap. You seen it last night. That was the real Blazers last night. They found it.
It was a hiccup.
No, that was the real Blazers last night. You seen them. But the Rockets, the Lakers are gonna have to beat the Rockets up. If the Lakers want to get in a 3-point contest with the Rockets, they will lose.
Yeah, that's not a smart move.
They better beat them up. They better. If Anthony Davis right now, Anthony Davis, if you don't average 30 and 15 against the Rockets,
it's over.
Well, LeBron got to play his part too, though. He got to be King James.
He ain't been King James.
Listen, I don't think he has to be King. This ain't. It's LeBron's teams, but it's not, because AD's the youngest star on this. AD's the
I
leading
said it
scorer.
in the chat. I'm giving LeBron 2 more games, and I'm getting ready to start doing the Max Kellerman, Tom Brady thing with him. If he hit the wall, he's gonna get 2 more games. 2 more games, man. Because he's the only one talking about they having what he say? What was the word that he used? They having intricate struggles or something. What did he say? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, what did he say? Like,
he also crying about not having the fans. And
like he's struggling, man. Like, even in game 1, he had that crazy triple-double. He struggled shooting the ball. Like, and I still think if he plays point guard, he's a top 5 point guard in the league. No doubt about it. I don't care if he hit a wall or not. His IQ and his skill set, he's a top 5 point guard in the league.
He is one of the smartest players.
I don't care what nobody said. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's better suited if he's getting ready to hit this wall. And it's starting to look like he might be hitting it. And I'm not saying that he's not gonna go for 35. You know what I mean? He might have a 40 here, and then people will talk about, see, he's not having it. No. My man looked different. And if you really being honest with yourself, he looked different.
He looked human.
He looked different. He looked human finally, man. He looked gas in the 4th quarter and everything right now. And I'm looking at him like, whew.
Listen, him look like he's 35.
It's around the time when he be getting his body right. That's why.
Like he finally starting to look his age, man. And he's still better than 95% of the league. I'm not stupid, you know what I mean? But he's just not himself no more. And if you can't accept that, and if I'm a hater because I said that he's not himself no more, then I'm a hater. I'll be there.
In his 17th year at 35.
Yeah, if I say that,
weird if they say that.
Like, if I'm a hater saying he's not who he was anymore, like, let's be honest. From what we've seen in the bubble, LeBron ain't the best player in the world no more.
He ain't been better.
I can agree with that.
He's not. Like, you could argue that because he was still killing, and I know that it was just March when he was just killing. He was just killing in March. But a lot's happened since March. Literally. A lot's happened since March. So he's different. He's different right now. And he's not the same guy so far in the bubble. And we can keep saying that he's not up for these games or whatever you want to say. He's just not himself right now.
He missed them Taco
Tuesdays. Says, Father Time is undefeated.
Yes, sir.
He missed them Taco Tuesdays.
So, like I said, recapping, right? The Bucks, I'm worried. I know you said that they look like they getting back to where they've been. I don't see it. I didn't see it. I think that they hit shots yesterday. But like Biv said, I think Orlando has more dogs on that team than the Bucks do. I just think that, like I said, the Bucks got Giannis, and that's why we're seeing them ball the way they're balling. But that game was a lot closer than that 111-98 score. That game was a little bit closer than what we think. The Orlando missed a lot of shots, and they are missing a couple of key pieces that is going to come back. So I'm interested to see what Game 3 looks like. But the Bucks did what they're supposed to do. Like Bibb said, they supposed to beat Orlando. They shouldn't have lost by 10 to Orlando in the first game. Yeah, I mean, they supposed to beat Orlando, especially without, some of the more athletic players. Again, I think Steve Clifford forgot what he did in Game 1 till it was too late, because they had no answer for Nikola Vucevic. Game 1, and then the whole second half of Game 2, they had no answer. I don't know what he was thinking. The Sixers Celtics game, a series, that's over. That's over, and so is the run of Brett Brown, I hope. And maybe Elton Brand. But that run is over. Elton Brand.
Well, and Brand do.
What he done?
He the man. He the GM, man. He orchestrating, man. He the one bringing in.
He brought Al Horford, didn't he?
Al Horford, man. He the one that said let's re-sign Tobias and not sign Jimmy. Like, man, like.
Oh, he said not to sign Jimmy. I didn't know that.
Man, they chose
okay,
Tobias.
get him out of here then.
Chose Tobias.
They chose Tobias.
I thought Jimmy didn't want to stay because of the coach.
No, so I think here's the thing. Jimmy, it wasn't between Jimmy and Tobias. It was between Jimmy and Brett. And they kept Brett, which now they're going to fire Brett and still lose Jimmy. But anyway, yeah, anyway.
I had to get a shot.
But so again, and another thing, why you talk about why Elton Brand, teams did call and ask for Al Horford during the season, and Elton Brand said no, we're gonna rock out with the team that we kept. Man, if you would have called me and said, can I get Al Horford mid-season? Man, I'd drive him down there to you myself.
Okay, understood.
But anyway, but that series is over. And again, I hope.
Oh my fault. Go ahead.
No. Listen, I'm gonna be unbiased. I've been saying it. I said it on the show. I thought that if Joel Embiid, in order for them to have a chance, Joel Embiid had to turn into something superhuman, and he hasn't. We talk about Tobias a lot on the show, where Tobias looks terrible, and I don't know, he shouldn't have got that money. If it's looking like Tobias and Al Horford robbed us, that's what it's looking like, and that's why Elton Brand need to go. It looked like Brett Brown robbed us too. Like none of them care. Anyway.
Hold on, they didn't get you as bad as Eddie Curry got the Knicks. Sorry, Derin.
I definitely think they got us. He getting us as bad. Al Horford definitely got us as bad as Eddie Curry got the Knicks, because my man 30-something, he signed a close to the max deal, and I don't know what he is. Tobias Harris got Jimmy Butler out by there. Again, it wasn't between Jimmy and them, but like he got a max deal on us as well. But again, I'm not gonna keep talking about that. The Brooklyn Nets look hungrier than the Philadelphia 76ers. They look hungry. They look hungry than the Philadelphia 76ers. Which again comes to me about coaching. If we had Jacques Vaughn as the coach and not Brett Brown, we'd probably be in the series 3-0. But that series is over as well.
Off your breaks.
You're right, 2-1. We'd be up 2-1 because that last game.
You might be down.
We'd be up 2-1.
You might be down 2-1.
We'd be up 2-1 anyway.
Now with Ben, yeah, y'all might be up 2-1 with Ben, but without Ben, y'all still down 2-1. I don't care who's coach. I don't care if Phil Jackson or Pop is over there.
Oh man, listen, I hear you, man. Listen, what else? That Denver, I talk about a lot. The Denver, Utah. I think that came down to coaching as well, and I think it's something internal going on there. The Lakers in Portland, again, the Lakers did what they supposed to do. Portland did what they were supposed to do, which is take a game and
No, they didn't.
and
They ain't do what they're
supposedly
supposed to do.
LA. So they did what
They
they
ain't do what they're supposed to do.
They did. They took a game. They took
They're
a
supposed to
game.
compete.
Huh?
They supposed to compete. It was over. Like after the first quarter was kind of competitive. After that, they just ran away with it.
If it was a natural playoff setting, right? I don't care what you get beat by.
Oh yeah, if it's okay, yeah, they did the job.
If this is a natural playoff setting.
We going back to Portland.
Going back to Portland, 1-1. I did what I was supposed to do, which was take a game through. You know what I mean?
Back in the bubble.
That's fine to have that mindset when you're not in a bubble.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But
you're in the bubble. You can't have that. You can't have that mindset.
I know.
I hope that's not what how they.
Don't Damon them. That's not their mindset. Yeah, I mean they want to win all the games. But what I'm saying is that if you are like just thinking about a silver lining, I'm 1-1. Yeah, I mean it's 1-1 in a 7-game series. Yeah, I mean it's 1-1. You 1-1, I 1-1, and if we go back and forth this way, I'm going to win the series. Yeah, I mean so I don't think there's nothing wrong with Portland. Like I said, I think they got a lot of the LA got a lot of questionable calls with Anthony Davis this whole entire series. But last night he was really driving into bigs, throwing his arms up and getting calls. He was just more aggressive, and that's why he got the calls they did yesterday. And I think that Portland just again they probably was high off of the first win, the game 1 win. Because we seen it. I seen one play, man. Hassan Whiteside try to channel his inner Anthony Davis, face up. My man don't even get off the ground with his jump shot. He don't even get off the ground. He got on his tippy-toe jump shot in front of Anthony Davis.
Who told him to shoot?
He got a decent touch.
He tried to channel his inner Anthony.
On the catch and shoot, he can't get off his feet to do no face up, but on the catch and shoot, he got
yeah, let's catch and shoot, he all right. But that face up, nah.
He can't get off his feet.
And then I'm with you. I don't think that OKC gets swept. I think that Chris Paul does have one in him. But I'm with you. It's looking like if the Rockets continue to play the way they playing, they're gonna be champs. And I'm gonna say that right now. If they continue to play the way they playing, there's nobody that can match up with what they have.
Hey, when you was talking about them calls, I was like, well, maybe they might go to since they got the Portland crowd, maybe it might. Nah.
Yeah, that's probably what it is, man.
The difference is Portland is a jump shooting team. They're a jump shooting team. Like they don't have a guy that's going to constantly put his head down and drive the lane and get calls. They're going to rely on getting calls on pick and rolls, you know what I mean, maybe getting something in the transition, but they don't have a guy that's just going to put his head down and get to the basket. But I want to get your opinion. Who do y'all think the Timberwolves should take with the first pick?
Anthony Edwards.
I agree.
Before we jump into that, I want to say something real quick. I think the winner of this Clippers Dallas game is going to win that. This game right here, Game 3, is going to win the series. But back to what you said, I think Anthony Edwards, because I think he's just the better fit, with D'Angelo. Now, to ask y'all a question, what should Golden State do with that number 2 pick?
They should definitely trade it. There's no reason for them to draft someone. There's no reason for them to draft. Why do you need to develop anyone? You're championship ready right now. Go get another piece.
And it ain't like there. Go ahead.
So, the question. This is the only question that I have with them, because I know NBA draft picks are not as valuable as like NFL picks. So just throwing me the number 2 pick is not going to satisfy my thirst. I'm gonna need a player. Golden State. I'm gonna need a person.
They have one.
I don't want Andrew Wiggins. Do not offer me Andrew Wiggins.
Somebody
if you offer
want him.
me Andrew Wiggins, I'm hanging up.
Somebody want him. We don't
If
want
you
him.
offer me Andrew Wiggins, I'm hanging up. I
Somebody
don't
want him.
want him.
Draymond?
Listen,
I don't want him.
no.
I was getting ready to say.
I offer Draymond too.
If you're not offering, I'm starting with Clay.
I'm hanging up.
My point exactly. That's the problem. I don't know. In my opinion, I wouldn't want Andrew Wiggins if I'm trying to win now. Milwaukee's trying to win now. Even if you lose Giannis, you still had the pieces around to win now. I don't want Andrew Wiggins.
You don't, and that's why I think.
Why not? You're still in the East. You're still in the East. You bring in the right person, you can still compete.
But who's gonna go to Milwaukee? That's why I don't think if they go to, and this one I'm gonna give y'all two. That's why I threw the two scenarios out to y'all. If they're gonna lose Giannis, which they might, if they lose in the second round, they might lose Giannis. And if I come to you with a package that says I'm gonna give you Andrew Wiggins, I get it. I know it's Andrew Wiggins, but maybe you can untap that potential because we know that potential is there. And I give you the number 1 or the number 2 pick in this draft where you can grab another star and build around him. And you give me Minnesota's pick, which is probably gonna be a high pick next year, where the high school players is gonna come out. That's intriguing to a player to where I may lose this player anyway. You know what I mean? So why not just get something for a player that I'm probably going to lose anyway? Or if I go to Philly and it's like, you got to break up this team. You just got to break it up. You know what I mean? We want to break it up. You got to break it up. I just throw it out there and see what sticks. You know what I mean? I throw it out there and see what sticks. And I think those are the two teams that are that we can go and probably poach from. I thought about San Antonio too, but I don't want either one of those players. And maybe Detroit, but maybe I want him.
I think the only franchise.
You said Blake?
Yeah, I said I don't want him. I'm not giving him no first round pick for Blake.
I don't think they have enough firepower. And I'm not just saying this because Derin's on the show, but I really think that the only franchise that needs like that number 2 pick is
Knicks.
So there's a lot of teams that need that number 2 pick.
But I'm saying like that with the whole LaMelo wanting to go there, and just what James Dolan ain't gonna do right by him. So
exactly, nothing's gonna happen until the owner leaves or he dies. Something crazy.
The Knicks has had a lot of lottery picks, bro.
No, they have, and there's a lot of times to where they picked the wrong guy. But I mean, when they haven't had too many top 3s in the top 3.
They're supposed to get Zion.
They just had. Listen, this is what I'll say. They had Porzingis. They got rid of him, right?
That was their dumbness. Yeah, I know. They
got Porzingis. They drafted Frank, where there was a lot of players that they could have gotten. They drafted Kevin Knox, and again, they're not doing right by Kevin Knox, who I think can be a baller. They drafted RJ Barrett. So I just think that they don't know what they're doing. So even if I give them the number 2 overall pick, they're gonna draft somebody like Opie.
No, they're not.
You know what I mean? Or they're gonna draft the kid from Auburn.
There's no way you can mess this one up.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it is, but it's not. Like there's legit, like the 3 are clear cut. You know what I mean? Like those have been the top 3, in my opinion, since the start of last year. So
the Sixers messed up Markel.
So you don't like Opie?
No, I like Opie, but for the Knicks, I don't like him. Why would I put so?
Yeah,
I don't like anyone for the Knicks.
I do like 2 people for the Knicks. I do like James Wiseman. I like James, and I also.
Gosh, he's trying to get him murdered.
Yeah, you are.
No.
No, that young man. You want that young man to go from being kicked out of Memphis and having to deal with all of that to have to go to New York and have to deal with that?
For on the court.
On, man.
I'm just saying on the court.
No. You can't talk
On the
about
court.
the Knicks and
The
then deal
Knicks.
with it on the court.
I know.
Can't deal
Listen,
with it.
I'm with you. If we talking about dealing with the Knicks, I'm with you. I don't like nobody there. You know what I mean? Nobody, especially like, just think about this. Just think about what Lonzo went to LA. When Lonzo went to LA, who did he bring with him? LeVar. You think LeVar ain't coming with Melo to whatever team to New York if he go there?
Oh yeah, it's coming.
He definitely coming to New York. He's definitely coming.
I just think he's the one that's made for
I
the
do.
New York press, the lights and all. I mean,
I agree.
I'm not even thinking basketball. Just the whole scene, the whole setup as well. I mean, I think it would be a perfect James Dolan revenue kicker. You said no?
It would be a great revenue kicker. But the Knicks are, I think, still number 5 in franchises.
Listen,
value.
boycott the Knicks, bro. Tell the fans to boycott the Knicks, and that way James Dolan can get out of there, somebody else can get in, and then we can have 30 reputable franchises in there.
I mean, that's what it is, man.
30
I mean,
reputable
really,
ones, man. Who else? Listen, the Kings is not reputable.
Stop that. Shout out to Vladdy.
I mean, but like,
gone. Vladdy gone now.
I heard stories about LeBron was supposed to go there. I heard stories about Kyrie was supposed to go there. Just almost happening so many times. And I really think, like, you know, James Dolan knows that New York fans are so loyal, we're almost stupid. Like, we're almost so blind to it. It's like love. Like, we're so blind to it. It doesn't matter what. We're New York. We're diehard New York. But it's like, yo, until something major happens, until he leaves
Something
that
major
throne,
did happen, and y'all still are loyal New York fans.
It's James Doyle, man.
Brooklyn is right down the street.
That's a different owner.
It's
That's a
legit
different
right
owner.
down the street. Manhattan and Brooklyn. Majority of the fans are coming from Brooklyn. They're coming from Queens. Those are the fans that are going to the New York game, the Knicks games, and they're not even Nets fan. The Nets fan.
It's the owner.
It's because of history or tradition. Like, New York is so embedded in them, and I'm like, bro, you have another team that you can root for. You don't have to keep rooting for the Knicks. You have another team you can root for.
But I don't want to jump off and then out of nowhere they start being successful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still
you ain't gonna jump on this Nets bandwagon.
My thing is this, right? And I told you I don't really watch basketball like that. I haven't watched the Knicks in a while. That's why I'm not really in this conversation like that. I haven't really watched basketball like that. But when they start getting hot, that's when I will start doing it. But until then, y'all don't get my support. So
you got a whole other team from New York, man.
Nope.
They're not from New York. Nope. They're from Jersey.
No, they are in Brooklyn.
Exactly.
They're from Jersey.
They from Jersey.
They are the Brooklyn Nets.
I love Knicks fans. I love Knicks fans, man, because I made a lot of money off of Knicks fans because, you know, in college they always felt like they was gonna win the championship every year.
Dude,
y'all suck.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Do not mention my squad with the Knicks. Don't do it. Don't do it. This will be the last time you be on this. Don't do
it. Prior to winning the Super Bowl, and look, I'm even less of a fan of football than I am basketball. But I'm just telling you what I see. Prior to the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, every year out here, Eagles.
But you also live in Eagle Town.
That's true. But I mean, just regardless, like, I'm in high school, I'm in middle school, like, everybody's talking Eagles. I'm in news all the time. I'm like, y'all, and then I looked at our stats. I'm like, y'all never even won a Super Bowl.
We've always been competitive. The Knicks,
they always been weak, is what they always did.
Hey, competitive is still
the Knicks have always been weak, man. They always been weak.
We had a moment. We had a moments, but
we've always been competitive.
That's debatable. But,
since the 2000s, we are probably top 10 in wins in the NFL.
Simple Google search will solve that.
Go ahead.
And one Super Bowl win in that time frame.
Now, in 20 years.
That's cool. Y'all got 2. in that time frame. Yeah, I mean, we've been to 2. Y'all been to 2. Well, actually, y'all been to 3. No,
We got 5.
yeah, y'all been to 2. Y'all been to 2.
We
Y'all got 5 since
So
when?
what's
2000.
the final thought? Hold on. We've been to more Super Bowls in the 2000s than y'all have.
We've also won more than y'all. So
that's true, but we still got more trophies in the box.
man, y'all keep talking about the night. Y'all, you like a Redskins fan talking about, man, we got 3 Super Bowl rings.
Hey, didn't Derin said it best? The 80s and the 90s was the golden era, brother, for everything. Literally, shout out that red and gold.
Man, you was born in 2000.
If you gotta watch your
93.
You have to watch your last Super Bowl victory on VHS.
Hey,
It wasn't on.
that's okay.
No, I can watch it on YouTube.
We were hot in the 04s.
Listen. When you watch it on YouTube,
it might be on YouTube. They converted it from a VHS.
So you watch it on YouTube, it's still in black and white.
Hey,
that's fine. We gonna have our moment, and then I will have the last laugh. One day.
Then I ain't even talking about the Knicks.
When your last Super Bowl victory was called by Pat Summerall and John
Madden.
Okay. Where's the final thoughts? Where is our final thoughts? Let's get to our final thoughts.
My final thought. Shout out to John Madden. Shout out to John Madden for his work. He did coaching. I mean, calling the Cowboys in the 49ers Super Bowl, man. Shout out to John Madden.
And the Chargers. Don't do that. Don't be disrespectful. That was 49ers and the Chargers.
No. I'm saying he called y'all Super Bowl wins. Y'all Super Bowl wins, man. Called it, man. Shout out to that. Who the heck was the coach for the Chargers then, man?
I don't know. What's the little guy name? Anyway, what's your final thought?
Y'all coach was what y'all call was Bill Walsh. That's the last time Bill Walsh was still in the building when y'all won.
Don't do that. It's George C.
He was our coach, but George Walsh was in the
No, Mariucci won one.
Yeah, Steve. No, Steve. It was George.
Mariucci came in '97.
Yeah, it was Steve Seifert.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Seifert got 2. So, what's your final thoughts, man? Let's stop.
I just gave you my final thoughts, man. Stop living in the past, man. Just don't live in the past. Yeah, I mean, look forward to the future. That's my final thought.
All right. So my final thought is the golden age is the past. The greatest people was born in the 80s. No, I'm joking.
Wow. Listen, shout out to that. Look, Derin, look.
Oh, crazy. Y'all tripping.
Final thought for me, man, is just be cognizant and be a student of what you're into, in a sense, so that way you can have an understanding. My man is a student into the hip hop game. As he said, he's 26, so that would put him born in the 90s, and for him to be born in the 90s and have a love for the music, you can tell that he's went back and become a student of that. And even with us, with basketball, we have become students of the game. So always be a student of what you're passionate about, so that way the best version of you can come out. Was that deep? Was that deep this time?
Yes, sir. That was deep. I got another final thought for you.
No, he was not deep.
It wasn't deep.
Not deep.
It was 4.5 feet.
He had to ask that. The fact that he had to ask if it was deep means he was not deep. He took his own thunder. Nah, you was deep, bro.
No.
I got a final thought, man. F the Braves, man. F Boston, F the Braves.
What in the world? What did we do?
Man, we out here getting smacked 7-1 right now, man.
On that note, my final thought is I could throw for the Phillies bullpen at this point.
Hey,
they are terrible. Get it together. They got spotted 7 runs.
Gave him a home run.
Yo, they got to do something about that. That's embarrassing, bro. That's embarrassing, bro.
And this is something I guess we'll talk about Monday, but they did just get 2 relievers. You know what I mean? They did just grab 2 people, one from the Yankees and one from, and I don't know how much that says. Yeah, I mean, one from Boston, one from the Yankees. But anything gotta be better than what we got. So, but yeah, D, you got any final thoughts, man?
Man, go ahead.
Hold on, D. Go ahead, babe.
Nah, I just want to say, man, everybody have a good weekend, man. Everybody have a good weekend.
Oh yeah, definitely. Go ahead, D. Hit us with something right there. Oh, Derin, you supposed to drop. You supposed to spit something for us before the show over.
All right, cool. Y'all want a 16, 32? What we looking at?
Dang, brother, the show's supposed to be over like 3 hours ago. You out here dropping the whole album.
Nah, I got it already.
Just give us a 4-bar Friday and shout out
4-bar
the
Friday.
game. 4 bar.
Shoot, 4 bars. Man, now I gotta look through. Think good 4 bars. Let me think.
He said, Bibb said, give us what?
Gotta do a quick 16. It's not gonna take long. Quick 16. It's not gonna take long. All right. Hey, yo, trust me, friend, the saga must begin. See, many know I drop a joint right at the point to where it cuts the skin. I got the guts to win. The lyrics will bust the pen. See, I think of so much stuff, I need a toilet to flush it in. See, people tell him, don't respond to Turtle. He's so beyond commercial that when he spit conscious, sometimes it's hurtful. I only really call it rhyme rehearsal, but since I end up controversial, then you pick the track I bound the verse to. Even if I started after, it doesn't make you a harder rapper just because your story has a larger chapter. What is the problem to a raw disaster? Y'all will have to adapt the proper master purely on the starter factor. I got the pattern right where it needs to be. You'll never catch these turtles spit a verse without the decency. Anyone listening, you need to believe in me. They say it's easier said than done. I said it's done easily.
That's how you end it.
That's how you end it. That's our show. Go follow us on YouTube. Go follow us on our Spotify.
Hold on. Thank you for coming on the show, Derin. We appreciate you taking
Man,
the time.
you can't say thank you after you drop something like that. You just gotta go right into ending it. You just gotta follow us. just follow us, right?
Man, I'm just appreciative. I'm just appreciative, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Nah, definitely thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate your time.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. But again, like I was saying, follow us on YouTube. Go to our Facebook page if you want to check out where we are. It's in our link tree. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We got a Twitter account. We got Facebook. We got Instagram. So follow us on all our social media accounts. If you got anything that you want us to discuss later on in the future, just speak on it. Hit us up on one of our accounts, and we'll definitely speak on it on one of our shows. But until next time, y'all, that's our show for the day. Speak on it.